Hi, integrating real perspective here again. I wanted to record a supplementary video to my review for High Fidelity that I made a little while back. And I decided I wanted to do this because there was a scene analysis that I wanted to do. And granted, this this isn't going to be a standalone scene analysis, but so I don't want anybody to get the idea that I'm being pedantic here. But for those who have watched my channel for a while, I look and always will look for truth in the films that I critique. And that means zooming in on isolated scenes that have meaning for me and therefore scenes I have to discuss in presentation to hopefully light up areas of the viewer's consciousness that were maybe too dim and then have fewer viewers leave feeling illuminated. So the scene that I want to analyze here in High Fidelity is the one, it is the sex talk between Marie DeSalle, played by Lisa Bonet, and Rob Gordon, John Cusack. And it was as such that it deserved a separate video discussion for posting. Now, for those who want to watch the scene from the movie, it happens at exactly 1 hour and 15 seconds into the film. Now, you can complain that I'm overemphasizing this scene too much, but there is something that raised my eyebrows during the scene where Marie and Rob wake up in the morning after sleeping together, and they're sitting on the couch talking, and these following lines follow. Marie DeSalle, I think it's okay if you feel horny and fucked up at the same time. I mean, why should we be denied our basic human rights just because we messed up our relationships? And Rob responds, you think sex is a basic human right? Hell yeah. Yeah. And so we see Rob and Marie in bed together beforehand after they've had sex. No nudity. She's asleep and he talks to the camera. In a flashback leading up to that moment, we see them kissing, but there's nothing else. The next morning, when Marie and Rob have that sex talk about it being a basic human right, she also adds that she'd never let an asshole come between me and a fuck, quote unquote, thus explaining why she slept with Rob. So, on what grounds is Marie justified in this statement? And is there some cultural annotation behind it? So, now that's where I start to get holistic here. I'm not specifically talking about this scene, but I'm talking about how sex is an ongoing theme throughout this movie. I got to thinking about Rob Gordon and his character involution, not evolution, but involution. This is a term I took from Ken Wilber here through the whole movie. Yeah. He persistently, for example, asks Laura multiple times after they broke up if the sex is better with her new man, Ian Raymond, played by Tim Robbins. And when Laura breaks up with Ian and gets back together with Rob, he realizes that he's been thinking with his guts since he was 17 and that he came to the conclusion that his guts have shit for brains. I'm quoting these lines ad verbatim from the movie, by the way. Hopefully, for those who have seen the movie, you'll know what parts of the film I'm referencing. So I find that this is very telling that Rob, very telling there that considering that Rob is a very emotional guy with a bundle of nerves. Sounds like this guy needs to see a GI doctor if he says that his guts have shit for brains. Sex does play a very important part in this movie, though, especially given John Cusack's low self esteem and that he, being a self titled professional critic or professional appreciator, makes me think that hearing Marie DeSalle say what she did about sex being a basic need is proof that Rob needs to learn self respect for himself. Pretty similar to what Michael Cera's character Scott Pilgrim was going through in the Edgar Wright movie that would come out 10 years after High Fidelity, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So there's actually a lot more going on in this film than I thought when I first viewed it back in December 2021. And it turns out that Rob started his own record label too. These two kids who were in his store one day stealing records were actually making samples for an album under the moniker The Kinky Wizards. And the CD is titled I Sold My Mom's Wheelchair. And the name of Rob's record label is Top 5 Records. Those are just a few other random details I had to throw in there. So, really, the main reason for me doing this supplementary video was to show Rob's involution over the course of the film and how his belief framework changes and flourishes more to bring him to a place of joy, and that sex really is the core of it all. So that was really what I wanted to get into more. I feel like you know that one scene, that sex talk scene between Marie DeSalle and Rob, seemed to reference a book that I remember reading back during my days when I was exploring the kink and BDSM community. It was called Sex at Dawn. And yeah, so Sex at Dawn by Zakilda Jetha and Christopher Ryan. Um, Obviously, I'm gonna put this book up on the video so that you can see what I'm talking about. But uh, I mean, okay, I know that book came out in 2010, but somehow I just feel like some of the stuff that was talked about in High Fidelity about sex being a basic human right would be an inspiration for the book Sex at Dawn. Okay, anyways, take what you will from this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you on the next reel, which is going to be the Spectacular Now. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you soon.